Welcome to Beyond Discovering. This is a podcast where we go behind the scenes of mineral exploration. My name is Thomas Tränkner, and as always, I'm joined by Matthias Fors. Hello, Matthias.
Hello, Thomas.
Are you a mineral exploration expert, would you say?
Well, mineral exploration, yes. I'm not a mineral nerd, but I'm working a lot with mineral exploration, yes. But I'm not an expert on all the thousands of minerals that are to be found on the earth.
How about the permitting processes?
Well, worked a long time with permits, especially in Finland, Sweden and Norway over the last 10-15 years. So it's seen quite a lot of different cases and challenges and opportunities develop within the permitting processes.
But is it a jungle, you think?
Initially, it is like everything. When something is new and complex, it can feel like a jungle, but after you work with it for a while, it becomes more and more straightforward. However, there is always also challenges despite you think you know how it works.
Yeah, we will in fact talk about this a bit more in this the episode. But first of all, how is exploration defined? What is it in fact?
Well, exploration, when it comes to mineral exploration, is trying to find a bedrock that is hosting then an higher amount of a commodity. Could be copper, could be iron, could be gold, for example. And so that is exploration. And within Sweden, you have the right of public access. So you can conduct mineral exploration, like you pick lingonberries, blueberries, mushrooms. You can also be out there in the field exploring for minerals, mapping and looking at rocks and so on. But you are not allowed to use any like equipment when you conduct mineral prospecting on this right of public access level.
So no digging, no drilling, no nothing like that.
Exactly.
But what do you call this first early stage in the exploration?
Yeah, so quite often when a company then wants to conduct mineral exploration, you need an exploration license or an exploration permit. This is submitted then or you applied for according to the Minerals Mining Act, the Minerals Act in Sweden, to the mining authority that is called Bergsstaten in Sweden.
So you get what you call in Swedish ett undersökningstillstånd.
Ett undersökningstillstånd, exactly. And that doesn't give you rights to do exploration on the ground, but the exploration permit itself is giving you the sole right to this area. So no other exploration company can come and take this area away from you.
You get an exclusivity.
Exactly.
So how long do I have this exclusivity in this permit?
Initially, you have it for 3 years in Sweden, and then you can extend it. So if you have done appropriate exploration work during these first 3 years, you can apply for additional 3 years. And after those 6 years, you can apply for another 4-year period, and then you need to have special reasons. And then the final term after this 11 years in total, you can then apply for, or 10 years in total, you can apply for additional, the third extension, and that needs then extraordinary reasons. So the requirements from the mining authority increases for each extension.
But if I want to start drilling, what do I need to do?
Initially, in normal cases, you then need to have a work plan. And this work plan is then to be agreed on with the landowners and the stakeholders, and also with the county.
Matthias, what is the purpose of the work plan?
Well, with the work plan, the setup is that the exploration company is to notify the landowners, stakeholders, and the county, and you are to notify the landowners that are being affected for the exploration work. So it doesn't have to be all the landowners within the exploration permit, but it's those landowners and stakeholders that are being affected by the work. And this notification is then, the purpose of it is to share what the plans are for the exploration activities, and gives an opportunity for landowners and so on to get back to the company, and maybe then the exploration work can be adjusted so that also the landowner can are settled, so it doesn't affect with maybe other industries or other interests of this area.
But if the drilling company does not come to an agreement with the landowner, or if there is some dispute, what do you do then?
Well, then, according to the Swedish Mineral Act, the company can then ask the mining authority to put the work plan into force, which means then that it overrides the rights of the landowner.
But the company who owns the permit area can be much larger than the work plan. Is that correct?
Yes. So each work method or each work that is the company is planning to do. So you can do geophysical. You have larger exploration permit, but you don't want to do exploration on the whole area at the same time. You maybe do it initially when you're doing some soil geochemical sampling and so on. But after you get the results, you maybe want to intensify the exploration within a smaller area of the exploration permit.
What else must be included in the work plan and to start drilling?
Well, before you can start exploration work, you need to set up a security deposit at the mining inspectorate, which is then Bergsstaten, and then the amount of that depends on what work you're planning to do that. But there is also then compensations for possible damages and other contact details and quite a lot of other information that is to be included in the work plan to help the dialogue between the parties.
Yeah. And to be clear, and this is something we talked about before this recording, is that a permit is not the same as a mine starts.
No, exactly. An exploration permit gives you the rights through then a work plan to conduct mineral exploration, but it has nothing to do with mining. That's a totally different permitting process for the mining.
It's a very long process.
It is, and it's not only the Mining Act that is affected, but there are also environmental acts and so on that you need to take into account when you start thinking about mining operations.
And those authorities that are involved, you mentioned Bergsstaten, the Swedish Bergsstaten. Is there any other authorities?
The county board also have then authority to give you approval, for example, for off-road driving.
And there might also be other authorities depending on what issues there are. For instance, are there cultural or environmental things?
Exactly, ancient remains, water, and so on that needs to be taken into account. So there are several other aspects also for the explorer to be aware of, to take into account already in the initial stage of the exploration permit application, so that the company is aware of it, what's coming.
So Matthias, let's summarize this talk about permitting in jungle. What are your takeaways?
Well, takeaways is that you can walk the ground, be walking and do mapping, but if you want to secure the ground, you need an exploration permit. So that no other company can take it from you, so to say. And but to conduct an exploration work, you need to have a work plan. And this is a long process and has its challenges, and it varies from country to country. I think the one really important aspect in this is that if you are in a region where where the landowners and the municipalities and the counties know about mineral exploration, it is one process in a way. And you know that all parties are familiar with what mineral exploration is all about. But if you move into a new area, then you might be sitting in a situation where the landowners, the municipality, or the stakeholder doesn't know what mineral exploration is all about, and that needs to, as an explorer, then you need to take this into account.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
For this talk about the jungle of permissions that is needed to start exploring.
Thank you very much.
Okay, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, because we will be back in next 2 weeks. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.